and it feels good. Like you can tell walking down that we didn't cheap out in this basement.
I think carpeted stairs are a bit dangerous almost sometimes.
Hugely dangerous. I fucking slipped down those stairs and broke my ass one Christmas because, after a couple of drinks and you're rushing to do things and whatever.
Hey, welcome back. This is episode 323 of the Real Estate Podcast. Today, Ariel is questioning me on my top tips for finishing your basement in 2025. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast, your go-to source for raw, unfiltered stories and expert tips. Whether you're a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord, or realtor, join us as we dive into the world of real estate.
He just appears.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm good.
You don't know what we're talking about today.
No, what were you saying before we started?
About Robbie's short little legs being quick?
No, something else. Anyways, I'd already forgotten. Not a big deal.
So I was talking about my base layers.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So in the winter, almost daily, if it's 0 or below, I always wear long underwear.
So no underwear, just long underwear?
Both.
Right. So it's a base layer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my snowboarding base layer.
Yeah, that's what I have. Well, it's not a snowboarding one. It's just a thin, I don't know.
Yeah. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, except I don't know if you have this issue, and I moisturize twice a day my whole body, especially during the winter, but my skin is so dry. Yeah. It's probably from the hard water. And then those base layers, they're not cotton, right? So your skin isn't properly breathing throughout the day, and I get itchy.
The good ones should breathe.
I get itchy.
One thing I noticed recently that people probably don't do often or at all that I need to do is, so we have a whole home humidifier. I know you like to call them central humidifiers. And when installing that was the single most effective change I made at our house a couple years ago. Like the difference in the winter is amazing.
I'm going to get a new furnace this year, and I'm going to have one installed at the same time.
You have to.
Yeah.
But ours, so I noticed recently it's just really not able to keep up. And sometimes that happens when it gets really cold, but it's not really the case right now. So I looked at it and I noticed very little water's getting through.
Filter's clogged.
Not the filter, because it goes before the filter. So the filter's not getting water, a lot of water. So it's probably calcium buildup. There's like a little solenoid that turns on and off to open the valve.
Okay.
So it's either that or the lines. So I need to take it, run a couple tests. But I think most people don't even change the filter. We do it once a year.
Yeah. Change it or wash it?
We just change it. I mean, it's like $30-$40 a year.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal. You can, like you see those commercials where they dunk them in CLR.
So, yeah. So and this will be a good transition into our topic today, which you still don't know.
Which I don't even know what it is.
But for the most part, if a new home is constructed, a whole home humidifier, as you call it, or central humidifier, as I call it, is not a part of the standard included equipment.
No.
So
not usually.
So our homes, when we got it, didn't have it. Mine still doesn't have it. Now that the home is 14 years old, I'm probably going to change the furnace this year. When I had the air conditioner replaced last year. Was it last year or the year before? The technician said, yeah, your furnace has got a couple years left, but it's rusting here and there, whatever. So it needs to be replaced in the not too distant future. I'm going to get one installed. My question to you is, what differences have you noticed between having it and not having it? Because you said
the humidifier?
You said it's one of the biggest things.
You can just feel it in the air.
What can you feel? You feel like you breathe better?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you breathe better. You don't get as itchy and dry.
Yeah.
And then there's things you may not notice as directly in just health benefits.
Right.
So you're probably not as prone to, you're not as prone to getting sick.
Right.
And then static electricity and dust and all these indirect positive effects it has on the house. And then even deeper than that, if the relative humidity is really off, then it starts to affect building materials. So creaks and noises in the house.
Yeah, no, I was asking what specifically you
this is everything.
benefited.
All of this.
You're giving me technicals.
No, this is legit.
Building materials and this and that.
It's true though.
Yeah.
When right now my humidity's down because the system's not working properly.
What's your humidity at currently?
29, 30.
Oh, that's like it's not even working then.
It's not.
Right.
But you notice it, like the house is more creaky now.
Are there, yeah. I wonder if there are systems, like differences between systems.
There are. Can you imagine I researched it
He's
when I
already
got
pulling out his phone.
So
For those of you that don't know Adrian on a more intimate level, he researches the shit out of everything.
Yeah. So I have your traditional drip style where just the water goes down through one of those little metal filters.
Yeah.
And then mine has a fan on it, so it blows fan into the furnace ductwork, which the furnace blower motor then carries throughout the house.
Right.
So that one I got because it has the built-in fan, so that helps to get
Circulate
the moist air into the system.
Now okay, I'll let you finish, but I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
That you may or may not know the answer to.
Okay.
So now you're pushing moisture into that duct work. Mm-hmm. Would there be any concerns of mold issues now?
There's always concerns of mold if you have too much moisture. But, and that's why it's good to clean your ducts probably once every 3 to 5 years, which I have not done in probably a decade. But really not likely because you're not, you've got it on a.
You haven't had your ducts
humidistat.
cleaned since Carter passed?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Carter's was our dog, family dog. But yeah, no, I think the chance of it is very low. I think the bigger chance of mold is if you have the humidity in the house in general is way too high and your circulation is poor, then you have a bigger problem.
Right. But here's why
moisture in metal ducts is not an issue.
Here's why. Is it? I don't know. If you haven't had your ducts cleaned and there's dust in there and now the dust is getting moist.
But the moisture's only in there while the air's blowing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Depends how much crap is in your ductwork, right? There's a lot of intricate bends and turns in ductwork. So are there areas where there's something sitting in there that is collecting that moisture potentially? The
amount of moisture you're adding to the air is relatively small.
Is it? I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I believe it is. I'm not a professional, so I didn't research to that degree. But
I see.
When's the last time you heard about having mold issue in the furnace over a decade in the industry?
So I don't know. Is that something people are actually looking into?
We would have heard about it.
I don't know.
We would hear of these.
Maybe we should ask one of our duct cleaning people if they actually pull out mold.
Or whoever's listening to this.
Yeah.
Or watching, just let us know.
Yeah.
The other option is you can get a steam version.
Right.
Which I believe is a better option. And then I saw something the other day that I'd never seen before. It was a social post on Insta or TikTok, and I think it was in, I can't remember where it was, Colorado or something. And they actually had like little misters in every room.
Oh, that's cool.
Independently controlled by the relative humidity in that room.
That's cool.
That was really cool. I mean, you're not retrofitting that to the average house, but that was a neat idea.
It also then provides another component to the home that could potentially leak.
That was my thought too. But realistically, you're not touching them. And how often do things leak? It's rare.
I don't know, man. Things leak all the time.
I've never had a leak. Oh, you have.
Yeah, I've had.
That's true. Actually, that's not true. I have had I have had a leak in the dishwasher before. Anyways, neat concept though.
Now, you talked about the relative humidity, that if it's too high, it could lead to mold issues. And we had one of those issues in one of the properties we manage. There was just too much moisture in the house, and the tenant didn't know any different. They weren't using their bathroom fans when they were showering and bathing, so all of that humidity and moisture got added to the air. Mm-hmm. And the window sills were also getting a lot of condensation. So it resulted into some mold in different areas of the home.
I don't think, I mean, the humidity level for sure is a component, but I think the circulation is a bigger factor too.
Yeah, so if you're a tenant listening, or a landlord,
or a homeowner.
That's true. A lot of homeowners don't know. You got to run the fans in your bathrooms about a half an hour after you bathe. Mm-hmm. I like to leave them on, especially in the winter time when you're not opening your windows and doors as often.
Yeah, a lot of newer homes have the HRV, which would serve the same or better function.
All right, let's get to today's topic, which you still don't know about.
I feel like you don't even know what you're going to ask me.
I'm going to ask you some random questions, but it's going to start with, if you were finishing your basement in 2025, what would you do? What would be of most importance to you? And what do you think is kind of on trend that you would like to have in your basement? Because let's face it, we live in the town of Milton, where every day there's tons of new homes closing. There's construction everywhere. Mm-hmm. And very few of these will have a finished basement. Mm-hmm. And after a year, most people will look at it, right? They want the house to settle. The builders often tell them, don't do anything for a year.
I don't know if I would wait, first of all. If I wanted that space, I would finish it.
Right, and deal with any consequences after, if there were any.
Yeah. It doesn't change the warranty. It just, you are responsible for repairing whatever you've put in there. Like if the foundation cracks and leaks, they'll fix it.
Right.
But you're going to have to put your walls back up.
Right.
So if you feel like you would get a lot of value and enjoyment out of that finished space, or you need it, finish it.
Yeah.
But what would I do?
Yeah. So our homes are average detached homes. So let's just imagine your current basement.
I would.
Which is probably finished space in your basement is maybe 850, 900 square feet.
7.
7?
Yeah.
It's got to be a little bit more than that, no?
No, because I've got the mechanical room, which is probably 100.
Oh, that takes up,
roughly, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
And then the garage,
eats
unexcavated space.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of that. So anyways, so first and foremost, everything I do is almost always, I'm thinking, how do these changes affect the value and saleability of the home long-term and future use? Like, will I ever want to change my mind about how I'm using this?
Right.
And how hard am I making it on myself to alter it?
Right.
So one thing I would do is think, if somebody wanted to rent it out or have it as a livable space for somebody,
like an in-law suite,
or even just a teenager.
Yep.
Like that's, I think, a function that should always be in the back of your mind, whether it's...
Was it when you finished your basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the side entrance door that goes directly down there, having a washroom, having a bedroom. It's not a legal bedroom, but those are things I would think of. So if you're not doing a bathroom, I would rough in a room for it, so you could convert it later if you chose to. Or if you choose not to use it as anything but storage, the next person to buy it, definitely, if you convey it properly, will add value. If the fixtures.
All right. So you're finishing your basement today, and what are you doing?
I'm probably making my windows bigger.
Yeah.
Like the builders will give you their oversized windows, which are maybe like 18 inches by 20 inches or something. I would do
full egress windows.
Full egress windows. It makes the space feel like you're above grade. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I would definitely do that I wouldn't have thought of before.
Yeah. I was just talking to one of our vendors yesterday, and that person dug, excavated, and had 3 good size egress windows installed. I think that's a
for
good
like
idea.
I have family stay over.
What would you say that would cost on average? What would
I would
be
guess $1,000 a window, $1,200 a window.
to have it excavated and installed and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're low.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You think so? 15 would be high.
Who's going to remove your window? First of all, excavate to get to low enough to install.
You're already excavated in most cases. So if you take an average window.
What are you talking about?
Maybe I'm wrong. You're making me feel like I'm way wrong.
You're way wrong.
What do you think?
Per window?
Yeah. Be careful, because somebody now is going to hear you say this and they're going to overcharge you when you call them.
I'm not getting any installed. How many are you doing? Are you doing just the one?
No, let's say your average person's doing 2.
2 windows, dig it out, install. The windows themselves are going to be $700-800 easily.
Okay, maybe. And
Depending on the size of the windows.
All right.
So 2 windows, removal, install, seal, excavate, put the shit back. So that's probably 2 days of work, 2 people plus an excavator, plus your windows. So $100 an hour, $1,400 excavator, another
they own it.
$6,000. Yeah, but they charge you for it. What, they're just including it as a business
No,
cost?
I know, but I'm saying
25, $4,000
per window.
No, total.
Oh, so you're saying 2, and I said, what did I say, 1,000 to 1,500? Or am I increasing my number now?
Yeah, you're slowly creeping up.
Yeah. Maybe when you put it in that perspective, maybe I'm a bit low.
All right, so you would put 3 egress windows.
Yeah,
1 in the living space, 1 in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Bathroom, not as big a deal, but I mean, if you're doing 2, you may as well do all of them, assuming you can. Like depending on where it is in your backyard.
So you're not putting a new window in; you're just replacing the ones you got.
Yeah,
and that's what my estimated cost was based on.
Yeah,
not drilling into the foundation.
Yeah. No, I don't think I would do below grade, like separate entrance. Personally, some people maybe would. I don't know.
Well, some people don't have a choice depending on where the staircase
No, I know,
is.
but I'm saying I wouldn't do that preemptively.
Oh, if you weren't finishing it with the plan of renting it initially.
Yeah, like I'm saying, you need maybe somebody down the road would want to use it for that purpose, but I wouldn't spend my money on the egress door,
full walkout kind of thing.
If it required one for that purpose, just for the sake of preparing it that way.
Right.
I think whoever buys it can do that if everything else is there.
Sure. Let's talk flooring. What kind of flooring would you install?
Well, I would definitely do a subfloor.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Because it's warmer and it helps to wick moisture. So if you do have a leak, that helps. And just moisture and breathing of the concrete. I would definitely remove the existing insulation and build my walls right up to the foundation and properly do it with new insulation and vapor barrier and all that fun stuff. Instead of a lot of people will build frame in front of the existing insulation.
That's how most are built.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. The extra size makes a difference, I think, and also properly.
Yeah, because you're losing 6 inches into your living space.
Yeah, with the
when
wall.
you build out
Yeah.
the wall in front of the existing.
Well, you're not losing 6 inches. You're already losing, 3 to 4 inches or so with the new framing and whatever you're putting on there, drywall, whatever. So you're losing.
Yeah, but that gets pushed back now if you're installing it against your.
Yeah, you're probably
foundation.
losing 4 inches.
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
think.
I was fucking way off.
Well, so was I on the 1,500 to 2,000. Jeez. So
Yeah.
actually, as a percentage, we're almost exactly the same.
See, the beauty of the podcast is we can rewind where you said 800 to 1,000.
I did that with
now
Alicia
I'm
once.
lowballing you, huh?
Alicia said something on the porch or did something. And I'm like, and then Tessa came back out and she brought something. And Alicia's like, I didn't say to do that. And I'm like, yes, you did. And then we looked it up on the camera and I was right. Anyways, I just said that because of your story. What else would I do? So subfloor.
No, what kind of floors?
Oh,
And this whole subfloor thing could be debated too.
no, it can't. It's better. 100%.
I don't know.
100%. You can't debate it.
Yeah.
You can just decide if you want to spend the money on it, but it's not debatable.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a flooring type, I would just do, I don't know. I mean, vinyl or laminate are generally what you're doing. If you maybe engineered hardwood, but depends on the house, price point, all that stuff.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I wouldn't be tied to any particular one. I think you can get really high end vinyl plank flooring that looks really nice, that costs more than a lot of engineered hardwood, and vice versa. So depends on what you're looking for. I think there's reason to consider all of it. The only consideration would be some things are more susceptible to moisture damage, so you'd avoid those.
So the reason I was saying I don't know about the subfloor, and the reason I'm asking the type of floor, if I was finishing my basement today, I would get the vinyl plank with a cork underlay, and that would, to me, be...
It's not enough.
Why?
Because, well, first of all, if you do that, then you're going to have to
Self-level the floor?
self-level the floor.
Yeah.
But then the other problem is there's nowhere for moisture to go, and you're still not getting the insulating benefits.
What do you mean there's nowhere for moisture to go?
When you put a subfloor, it's like a dimpled underlay.
Yeah, and then moisture sits there if you have leaks and stuff.
No, it breathes, naturally
Oh,
breathes,
sure,
comes and
yeah,
goes and
yeah.
breathes and drains and
Breathes
does its
my
thing.
ass.
If you've got cork stuck to the ground,
Cork is antimicrobial.
if you've got cork stuck to the ground and you've got your vinyl slapped and glued on top of that, nothing can breathe.
No, it's not slapped on top. It's part of the floor.
I know it's glued to it.
Yeah, well, it's integrated.
Cork trees don't grow vinyl bark.
Thanks.
They're separate
Fucking
components.
asshole. And then you have a proper vapor barrier underneath.
That's not a vapor barrier. That's a plug.
No. When you install over the concrete.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay. Would you install a full operating kitchen right now?
Kitchen, no.
No? While you were talking about potentially long term and as a rental or an in-law suite.
I would have plumbing. I would have a wet bar. I would probably have a lot of those things available.
That's what you have now.
Yeah.
Would you do anything differently?
No. And I think if a lot of times I'm showing houses to buyers, if they don't want to use the basement as an apartment, they see a full kitchen as it devalues.
A wasted
It's a waste.
expense.
And not only a waste, it's a deterrent. It's like, oh, I'll never use this. And it's a waste of space. It affects I'd probably want to remove it now. Now I got to spend money to get rid of it.
I don't know if you do it right. Well, first of all,
Nobody's cooking in the basement.
there are different ways to cook these days.
I'm not
just
saying
as we
nobody.
cook
I know a lot of
here.
people, specifically Italians, who for some reason have a stove in the basement, maybe for boiling tomatoes or I don't know.
What an ass.
I'm being serious. I'm not being an ass.
Boiling tomatoes. It's making sauce, man.
Yeah, but they boil the tomatoes with the stove.
I think it comes in handy with kids as kids get older and you start entertaining with birthdays or over the holidays. You want to. So it can be, I agree though. A lot of buyers will say, oh, I don't need a kitchen. Or the immediate thought was, or might be that it's a space that's currently rented or used for high traffic kind of situations or whatever. So there is a bit of a negative connotation from a buyer if they don't see the use for themselves. But a lot of them don't recognize what they could be using it for too. So that's debatable. But now with air fryers,
That's what I was just going to say.
Instapot, is it Instapot or Instant Pot? Whatever.
Insta.
And
Actually, I don't know.
you got those infrared little...
Yeah, lots of small cooking appliances.
Yeah.
You can have a cooktop, a little electric
That's
one
what I'm
that
saying.
plugs
Those
in,
little
induction
infrared
one, whatever.
cooktops
Yeah.
and all that.
I would do...
I don't think a bar fridge is a good idea. I think...
I do. I have mine. I use it all the time.
If you had a full-size fridge, you would benefit from it much more.
My basement's not that conducive to having one
Why?
because it would occupy too much space.
How long is your bar?
It could fit there, but then I just feel like it would feel small.
But it's still bigger than your bar fridge.
What? No, the space would feel small. Anyways, I'm not saying I think a fridge is a good idea, but whether it's a bar fridge or a regular fridge,
Right.
I think whatever suits your lifestyle. Like,
Well, but that's it. Forward thinking.
but those things
You
are
don't
easy
even
to
know
change.
I don't know. Is it?
Okay, maybe not.
If you wanted to put a full-size fridge in your basement now, where would you put it? In your storage room.
Yeah, but if I was buying it, I could have the foresight to say, oh, I can add a
What? You would
bank of cabinets over here in a fridge
Where would you do that?
Right
On the
again-
other side of it?
right against the stairs.
Oh, I'm going to send you guys some pictures. I'm going to post some pictures of Adrian's basement.
No,
We can
100% I
critique
can
it.
make it work.
Okay, so you would just keep a wet bar with a bar fridge. That's what you would do. If you were refinishing...
Hang on a second. How are you criticizing me on my choices for what I want in my basement?
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
just questioning you.
So all right, good. So
We've known each other for 20-something years. We're friends. We're neighbors. We're business partners. I have the ability to question your decisions.
That's fine. And you know what? I think that's an important discussion. I think a lot of people who are finishing their basement should have these discussions with people. Because most people finishing their basements make a lot of mistakes.
Sure.
Or
I
don't.
would want you criticizing my decisions because it would make me second guess things.
You know what I will do for sure if I ever build a house or finish a basement again is
Get me to do it for you?
I'll run Ethernet cable everywhere.
Right. In your basement?
Yeah, everywhere. Because you can get it can be used
You don't
for
think
so
that
many.
technology is going to be gone in 5 to 10 years?
No, because you can do power over Ethernet for things like cameras, for tons of things like home displays.
Right.
Like you can
Okay,
use.
let's get back on topic. You're finishing
That's
your
part of the
basement.
topic. I'm
Okay.
running Ethernet cable.
And what are you using down there that
Well, I'd
needs
have
the
Wi-Fi
Ethernet?
extenders for sure. I might have a home digital display that controls my home automation stuff that I can connect to it, mounted in the wall.
So what do you use your basement for mostly?
I sometimes will get ready down there, like shower,
Like
and shave.
ready to go to work kind of day?
Yeah, sometimes there, sometimes upstairs. I play PlayStation down there.
Right.
We used to watch movies down there, but now we generally do that in the living room upstairs. And I work out down there. So I got my treadmill and my bench and free weights and whatnot. And
Does Alicia and the girls, do they use it at all?
yeah, the girls not so much, but sometimes they go and play around with it.
I mean, in the basement as a whole.
Oh, the basement as a whole. Yeah. The girls sometimes play my PlayStation or watch a movie with friends or just hang out down there when family's over.
Right.
And then we have the one spare bedroom, so I have a spare bedroom for guests.
Okay, so you're now redoing your basement, or you're finishing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Any other things that are of high importance?
The other factors are, it depends on the house. Like if
Your house.
Oh, actually, my house?
Yes,
I wouldn't change
this
anything.
is the point of this conversation.
I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything other than
Jen's laughing in the background.
the one thing I would do is I would insulate the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
And I wish
That's a good one.
I wish I actually still could run speaker cables, but I did 5.1 surround sound. I'd like 7.1, so I'd have to run some more cables, which I still can't do. Fortunately, the joists are running in my favor, but I should have preemptively done that before the walls were up.
Yeah, you can get some speakers that don't need wire.
But they need power. There's no such thing as a battery-powered speaker.
Well, you can't put a plug in somewhere?
Well, then I'm still running cable. It's just as easy to run from in my basement right now. It would be very easy to run cable. Oh, maybe not, because then might be a bit tricky.
Yeah, I think it would
I'd
be a
have to
little
do some
tricky.
wall patching, but I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
So run more speaker wire.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, is there anything in yours you regret?
Regret?
Or wish you had? Yeah, regret either doing or not doing.
So if I was redoing it...
Hang on. Do you care much for your heated floor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do? I don't have it. I don't think I care.
Oh, my God. Aren't your... Okay, so do you have a subfloor in your bathroom?
Yeah.
So do you find that your tiles are cold?
Tiles are always cool, but I stand on a mat.
I don't like standing on mats. I like the feeling. I like standing on mats, but you're still walking around, or when you're taking a poop, do you have a mat under your
No.
toilet?
No, those
like
are
in the old
worst.
school days,
Those
you
are
know,
the
those
worst. It's like a
toilet
urine
mats.
catcher.
So if you're sitting on the toilet, well, you sit to pee too. So if you're sitting on, I don't know if you needed me to disclose that to the world or not.
The world
but
might wonder how you know that.
hey,
I think all men should
we've shared
to
a
pee
room together
in their own house
many
anyways.
times. So if you're sitting on the toilet, you like when your feet are cold?
Honestly, I've never thought of it, so it must not be that cold, and it must be because of the subfloor.
Yeah, my heated floors are on throughout the whole winter in the basement. I like if I'm waking up
It's just the thermostat.
Yeah, automatic thermostat. You can set it so it goes on and off at certain times. And
They're nice feature for sure.
and it wasn't that much of a cost. Like it wasn't that costly to add it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, in fact, if I redo any tiling on the other floors of the home, I will make sure, even in the foyer, I'll make sure that we add that feature.
Well, there's that one house we sold on Brock.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Beautiful home. The owner.
What was that flooring?
basically built it
Limestone or
himself.
something?
It was concrete.
It was concrete?
Yeah,
Polished concrete?
No, I can't remember if it was like polished or if it had like a epoxy coating. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, whatever it was. Yeah, it was all heated.
Yeah.
Which made sense. In fact,
But that's how they were heating the home, probably.
no,
Oh,
they had it because it was concrete and cold floor,
right.
just for comfort. Although it would contribute to radiant heating. But like my dad has in-floor radiant heating. That's how he has auxiliary options too as a backup, but his whole house is heated that way. And that's nice.
Yeah.
I would do that if I built a house.
Any regrets or things that I would change? So I'll start from scratch. If I was building that basement from scratch again, I would probably rejig my bar area. So I have, I don't know how big it is, maybe a 5-foot wide counter with a nice big single deep sink. But the counter is short on the other sides of the sink, so it doesn't allow for much. So I have a coffee maker on one side, and it's just not enough room if you want to take, like during the holidays, if we have extra food and it goes into the fridge, there's just no versatility there. So I'd probably move it to the longer wall. I would have designed it to the longer wall and go the width of that rec room and just extend that out. That way, if somebody wanted an appliance or two to cook with, that it would have that ability, whereas now it doesn't. It would be easy to add something in there, like another bank of cabinetry with a countertop, or even you think about a chef's island as a table and multi-purpose or whatever. But I would make it a little bit longer. Like, how long is your bar area? That's got to be like 7 feet.
Right, I think it's 8.
8 feet?
Yeah.
That's big. That's a lot of counter space. You know, during the holidays, that can come in handy for wrapping things even, or
I still just sit on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I like sitting on the floor wrapping gifts too.
I do, but as we get older, it becomes less comfortable.
And you're not that old. I definitely, I've talked about this in podcasts before. We've got the side-by-side fridge. And so it's fridge, freezer, and it's got the water and ice dispenser in it, which is hugely handy, especially if you're watching movies or sports.
I just use a sink.
I like my filtered water, and sometimes
I've thought about getting filtered water.
That's the quote unquote bar area. That's where the booze is. So if I'm pouring myself a cognac or a whiskey and I want a cube of ice, it's, in the door, ready to go. In the summer, it's nice because you go to the basement sometimes when it's cool in the basement, cool off. A glass of ice water is right there. So that's one thing that I think is a great investment. I know you like your bar fridge and whatever, but having a backup fridge and freezer.
No, I see value to it because even over Christmas, our fridge was jam-packed for a few days.
Right.
So it'd be nice to have somewhere
You
to
do
put
a
stuff.
Costco run, if you do meal prep for your family, and a lot of booze fits in there. So if you like to drink or have parties and don't want to stock your normal kitchen fridge with all that stuff. I probably now, if I was doing it now, I would choose a light colored floor. So mine are dark, kind of hand scrape-ish, probably going off trend, or it actually is off trend, so it's almost outdated already, and it's only 7 years old. But I would lighten it up, like a light oak, like a trendy kind of style, light oak. And yeah, I don't think I would change much else. I quite like how we designed it, and it's pretty comfortable. But the window idea is like there's no natural light that goes into the basement, which is fine in I call it the theater room.
Yeah, that's the same as mine. The only
room.
windows are the bathroom and the bedroom.
Yeah. There's no window in our bathroom. I kind of like that. There's one in the den/office/bedroom. And then there are two in it's kind of that kitchen area. So I'd probably, if the cost was $2,000 per window to do it, I'd probably do all three as well.
Would you put carpet down there again?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I love it. So it's hard to explain it to our viewers and listeners, but there's essentially one big rectangular room that goes the width of the house, and then it's approximately 13 feet wide. So it's like 22 by 13, I'm guessing. No, it's more than 22. It would have to be.
Anyways, it's in that.
Whatever. It's a good size room. And essentially the room is split into half. So half of it is the bar area where I was planning on getting like a kitchen table with 4 or 6 chairs. And that has the laminate floor. And then the other side is a TV which is recessed completely flat into the wall with 6 book nooks. They're nooks completely recessed into the wall.
Yep.
And that's where I have the PlayStation, a subwoofer that I bought after the fact because I wanted a little more bass. I've got a Sonos speaker. I've got some books. I've got the modem, things like that. Not really for arts and crafty decor kind of stuff. And we got the linear, I know you hate the electric fireplaces, but we have the linear Napoleon fireplace, which I think looks fine and does provide extra heat if needed. And then in that area, we installed a nice underpad with probably the cushiest carpet I could find. So if you're watching a movie...
It's good for sound too.
Yeah, if you're watching a movie, it acts as a nice sound barrier, deadener. You're right. And it's just so nice, like you talk about sitting on the floor wrapping the gifts. I love sitting on the floor there because it's so cozy. I turn the fake fireplace on, put a Christmas movie on, and just sit in the nice cushy carpet. The one mistake I made, and I knew it was going to be a mistake, but I did it for congruency and for aesthetic, I guess, as well, is we used the same carpet on the stairs down. So instead of doing a hardwood stair or finishing the stairs, we installed that carpet, which is nice because your feet aren't cold if you're going down barefooted.
Right.
And it feels good. Like you can tell walking down that we didn't cheap out in this basement.
I think carpeted stairs are a bit dangerous almost sometimes.
Hugely dangerous. I fucking slipped down those stairs and broke my ass one Christmas because, you know, after a couple of drinks and you're rushing to do things and whatever. So what happened was the thickness of the carpet and the underpad shortened essentially your reach because it was everything sticks out a little bit more.
Right.
And
were you wearing socks?
Probably. Yeah. It was one of those sock slips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things I would change. But
actually, the only thing...
You know what, though? I probably would add some kind of tech-savvy addition to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, I love
there's all
that
kinds
stuff.
of things that you can, like in terms of lighting, as an example, like changing colors or temperatures or.
Well, I have mine set so when I press play on the Apple TV, all of my lights shut off, and if I pause it,
it's like full blown movie theater.
Yeah, when I pause it, one light comes on in the TV area, and the bathroom light comes on. Because I set that because why am I pausing? Well, probably because I got to go to the washroom. Oh, my God. And then when I press play again, everything shuts off again.
You're such a nerd.
It's so fun.
All right. Well, if any of you listening or watching have any thoughts or ideas on what you would do if you were finishing your basement in 2025, let us know. We'd love to hear your comments.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week.
Ciao. Thanks for watching or listening to today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any other suggestions for finishing basements in 2025, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe.